So we know that most of the TradFi guys are out of the office throughout the summer. They're on the Amalfi Coast or sunbathing in the Hamptons, man, sipping on whatever the hell it is they're drinking, White Claws, whatever. Anyway, they've sold in May and gone away. But that actually got me thinking a little bit. What about these next 2 months? July, August, specifically, are we going to be screwed? Is it all over? Bitcoin's not going to go to new highs. Everything, bad things are going to happen. Are we due for just more sideways price action, declining price action? Your altcoins, I know what you're thinking. They'd be really kicked in the balls anymore. Oh, yes, they can. The summer lore, is it true? Or is there a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance
that we could see some really solid price appreciation both for Bitcoin and for our altcoin bags? That's the $1 million question that I want to tackle in today's video. We're going to explore several different charts. We're going to back up what we're talking about here, okay? And look at some of our current market narratives to try to answer this very question. So let's dive right in. First, let's refresh ourselves a little bit with this recent study from Fidelity, one of the world's biggest asset managers. Now, Fidelity notes that since 1990, the S&P 500 has averaged about 2% gains over the summer months, okay? Compared to 7% gains over the winter months. Obviously, less people at their computer screens. Winter, everyone's locked in, man. They're trading stocks. Therefore, Fidelity concludes that you do not want to be selling off your stocks in the summer months because you'll still be missing out on essentially some nice little gains. Not crazy gains, okay? But gains. Not to mention, of course, the tax hit you'll actually end up incurring from selling. Now, since crypto and stocks generally have a positive correlation, this is a very interesting data point for the cryptocurrency bulls, at least for the next 2 months. But looking at Bitcoin more specifically, check the price. What has Bitcoin done every July and August since, forever ago? Going all the way back at least 2016. Maybe not forever ago, back 2016, okay? We've had 4 periods with positive price action and 4 with negative price action. It's basically a coin flip, man, and 1 with sideways price action, which is pretty lame. So from this data alone, it looks like a coin toss essentially. But when you factor in the Bitcoin halvings, very, very interesting data appears. But before we explore that, if you are trading, you need to get yourselves an account on BitUnix. Is the hottest place to be trading crypto coins these days. If you want to long the rips, short the dips, you can do it all with no KYC. It means you can just enjoy your privacy, start your account, deposit some money, have a good time. That's it. Deep liquidity, all the top coins. They got what you want to trade. And here's the current deals. They got some massive deals for you right now. You can get up to $400 back. That's about a 20% deposit bonus. So put in $1,000, you get $200 back. You put in $2,000, you get $400 back. Plus, you can get up to $9,000. I said $9,000 in trading bonuses. The more you trade, the more bonuses get put back into your account. Cash back money. Go check it out. Link right down below me here in the description. Okay, now look. Let's dive into this. So you can see that in both of the July through August periods that followed a year and a half after the 2016 and 2020 Bitcoin halvings, both of these periods were positive. So here's that chart again with everything else just stripped away except for these 2 periods. And yes, in case you haven't already realized it, we are right now entering into the exact same July through August period. That's about a year and a half after the 2024 Bitcoin halving. So let's chalk this up as another interesting data point win for the crypto bulls for these next 2 months. Now, while we're on the subject, Bitcoin from that July through August period, a year and a half after the 2016 Bitcoin halving, during that period, Bitcoin appreciated about 72%, and Bitcoin appreciated about 45% from July through August, a year and a half after the 2020 Bitcoin halving. So again, the data is telling us that these are not the months that you want to actually be walking away from the market. It's actually the perfect time to lock the F in. All right, so I think we've made a pretty decent case here for Bitcoin, but I know what you're thinking. You're not all on Bitcoin. Hell, not even half your portfolio is Bitcoin. You're balls deep in altcoins. You got dog coins out the butt here. Well, here's crypto's total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and stablecoins. And we're going to skip straight to the periods that are a year and a half after the last 2 Bitcoin halvings, because I think we can agree that they're probably the most relevant if we're trying to find any kind of rhyming in the market to our current situation. What do we find? Well, it's the same gosh darn story, isn't it? The altcoin market cap grew 47% from July to August of 2017 and 61% during the same period in 2021. So we can chalk this up once again as a win for the period that we're in, and hopefully for our altcoin bags.
Another one.
So look, guys, just from the data that we've just reviewed, the Fidelity report, Bitcoin's historical price action, altcoin historical price action. These next 2 months are not 2 months that I would personally like to fade. Historically speaking, they tend to be pretty good months in the cryptocurrency markets. If history can rhyme adequately, then we could expect double-digit gains on some of our bags from now until September. And from what we're seeing on the charts right now, currently, well, it appears that we could be indeed laying the foundation for those kind of gains right now. Think about everything that's going on right now. The US stock markets are ripping, man. They're going into new all-time highs. Just as I'm putting this video together, Bitcoin is looking like it's ready to rip to some new highs as well. Whether or not that's happened tomorrow when we publish this video, time will tell, but it's coming nevertheless. Whether it's happening tomorrow or it's going to happen in a few days, it's coming. So that's what the data is telling us right now. What about the larger market narratives? Well, they're skewing heavily towards the bulls as well, and there's so many things going on. I'm just going to try to rifle through just a few of the ones real quick, okay? So first, at least from the market's perspective, it appears that both Trump's tariff Armageddon shenanigans and the end of the world, World War III, we all survived it, by the way, the Iran-Israel conflict, it's all behind us. The worst of all that stuff anyway. Second, global M2 and US M2, the money supply, rising tide that lifts all boats. Both new all-time highs. Global M2 is $113 trillion, and news broke this week that the US M2 printed a new official all-time high, coming in at $21.9 trillion. The previous all-time high was $21.7 trillion, which was back in April of 2022. We are going to dramatically higher new highs. This is not going to be just a little blip in the radar here. Third, we know that the U.S. rate cuts will be coming at some point. There's some speculation about when that comes, but it doesn't even matter. We're going to pump anyway, but they're going to help when they do. Maybe we get a cut in the next few months, maybe at the end of the year, maybe next year after Trump swaps Powell for a more dovish Fed chair. Regardless when it finally comes, we know that cuts are coming, and they're going to be coming into some of the easiest financial conditions that have existed in the U.S. in a very long time. Fourth, it appears that Trump's big, beautiful bill will be passed by Congress and get signed into law. Now, this is very bullish for Bitcoin and for crypto because investors get more nervous about the U.S. government's fiscal deficit. So the more they get concerned about that, the more likely they are, of course, to pile into Bitcoin. You don't want them to be too concerned, though, and they start dumping everything. Fifth, public companies are buying Bitcoin hand over fist. It's actually insane when you look at the last few months of news. We talk about it all the time, but it's bonkers, man. And it's not slowing down. Sixth, we're now seeing public companies doing the same thing, but for altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, XRP are the main targets. We even have stuff like Hype and Fetchcoin being bought. Seventh, altcoin spot ETFs are finally coming online in the USA. We had our first staked Solana ETF hit Wall Street on Wednesday. A lot more are going to come soon, okay? We should have maybe about 9 Solana ETFs potentially approved this month, XRP coming shortly thereafter. Eighth, the Genius Act is about to get signed into law. This will definitely boost major altcoin layer ones like Ethereum and Solana and bring trillions in liquidity into the cryptocurrency market as stablecoins get broad approval. Now, I'm sure I can find even, a few great bearish narratives to discuss here, but honestly, screw the bears. They're filthy animals, man. I don't got time for that bullshit. It's not even worth it. Just because the sheer number of tailwinds we have at our backs right now. So guys, to wrap this up, I think the data, the narratives, and even Bitcoin's price action right now, along with potential breakouts for ETH and Solana, telling us pretty loud and clear that yes, Bitcoin is ready, and even our altcoins are most definitely not effed for July and August. Fingers crossed. Thanks for watching.